What you're looking at right here is the indicator as to when we're going to have alt season, and we're getting closer each and every day. This is the others chart. It is all the crypto coins excluding the top 10. And even though we've had massive runs throughout the past 2 years, we haven't had true alt season, because true alt season happens at a very certain point. And that point is when we break the all-time high of the prior top. Because when we do that, something wild happens. All you need to do is go back to the past and look what happened after we broke this top right here. You can see how much alts appreciated in value after the top was broken. It went from a valuation of a prior top to from 75 billion to almost half a trillion. I do believe that's a trillion. Yes. So this run after we break the top, and we've already touched the top. A lot of people may not know this, but we've gotten close to cracking it. We've got a touch. It's very natural for the retrace to happen once we've touched the top, as people anticipate we're not going to break through. But the more times we test this, the weaker it gets. There's less sellers up here, and we end up breaking towards the top side. So that's why I'm going to be going over some alts that look primed to make moves in the coming weeks. I think there's a couple of coins set up to make some massive moves, and we can actually catch them now because they are in prime position. So I'm going to go over this chart, tell you what I'm looking for, and then go over the coins that I've mentioned in this video. So right now we are in a bull flag, and we're not doing anything very bullish or bearish. We could end up breaking towards the upside, which would signal a very bullish alt season in the summer. If we don't get it during the summer, I do anticipate we'll get it in Q4 of this year. We have one more level that we could possibly touch, and that would be pretty bearish for alts. The price would tank significantly. However, we could also crack towards the upside. What happens is yet to be seen. We kind of have to wait to see whether we can break out of this bull flag before summer's end. Otherwise, I think we're going to have a pretty bearish September and October before we have fireworks in November and December. So like I said, we're waiting for those alts to pump. They are in a nice position right now, especially some select few that I'm going to talk about right now. So we've got Giga, and I've spoken about this coin on my channel many times. You guys know how I feel about this. We have a very bullish structure on Giga. Let me explain to you why. When we had the presidential FUD happen, right there, that's what price did. It didn't crack below the prior low. That means strength. We got a sweep, but we didn't crack below it. That's really bullish. And then on top of that, when we had the war FUD, it didn't even come close to taking the lows out. You can see we held, and now it's looking to just trade sideways until the stars align and we get that pump to about 0.045 and 0.056, so about $400 and $500 million market cap right there, and that's just waiting to happen. This stuff can happen really fast. If we take a look at this move right here, it took about 5 days to complete, so this stuff can move really quick. I think we're primed to move up on Giga. One of the reasons why I think this may happen, this is just speculation, is because of Murad's top 10 list. SPX managed to move up to $1.2 billion over the past couple of weeks, and I think because we managed to see that, it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy where people might ape Giga as the number 2. So that could be a reason why we'll see a run up. Of course, this is just a narrative. The chart is already talking to me and telling me it's looking extremely strong with Giga. So I'm feeling pretty bullish about this. The chart looks bullish about this. We're above the moving averages and we're primed to make that move. It's just a matter of patience and waiting until this actually happens, not getting shaken out and holding for these targets and possibly even higher. You know, I'm a trader, so I'm looking to enter and exit, but I do think we're going to get higher moves than this. But as for now, I'm going to play it day by day, week by week. And if you guys want to follow along, make sure to like and subscribe. Now, the second coin I want to take a look at is Brett. Brett is looking really good. We're getting some bullish divergence here on the 12-hour. If we dive deep a little bit, we can see some bullish hidden divergence right there. We made a lower low. We made a lower low. And guess what? MACD is trending towards the upside. We got the same thing on the RSI. It might not be time. You guys can see my liquidity box right there where I think we could drop to, but we also have the trend lines as confirmation. So here's how I'm looking to play this. If we happen to just trade sideways for the most part, I'm going to be looking to buy at this liquidity zone or the break of this trend line if it happens to happen right around this area instead of the lows down here. And then we have a second trend line we're looking to break. So we've got a lot of time and opportunities with Brett to buy into it if we're interested in it. Now, I do think this is a beta to Pepe the Frog, and if Pepe starts running, I think Brett will follow. There's a pretty big move here. You guys can see my risk to reward box right there. We've got about a 12 RR reward right there. So risk to reward's 12, Really simple play. The key here is to buy at the lows and sell it when it hits 200% towards the upside. These moves can happen fast. This happened within 30 days. You can see that 35 days. So if we happen to drop down into July, I'm going to be looking to grab a bag and hold it until we get that 200% and possibly buy the dip when it comes. And again, I think this can move a lot higher. It's held up really well. So long as we don't take out these lows down here, I think this is a pretty safe play. You can see that. So Brett is another coin I'm interested in grabbing. It's a pretty simple play. We've got one more drop to get. Otherwise, we're looking for a break of this trend line to buy in and play it towards that upside. The risk to reward might be a little bit less as we have to adjust our stop loss. But we can also say if we happen to break this trend line, we just want to make sure we don't get stopped out and then it moves without us anyway. So we're going to be very strategic with the stop loss, and I'll be updating the Brett chart on this channel as well. Now, the next coin I want to take a look at is CAT. CAT on BNB. So here we have CAT on BNB, and I'm liking the look of this coin. We had a little bit of a bottoming recently with the war fund. It hasn't held up too well. We also have the bullish divergence showing up on here, and we managed to get above the moving averages once, and now we're back below them. But this is a value area in my opinion. Anything over in this area right here is going to be value, and we just about are exiting the value area. I think it's still a good buy. It's a very simple chart. You've got this trend right there. You can see here we're going to coil up until we either break to the upside or downside. I don't really think this has much lower to go. These were very extreme regions right here where the market was tanking beyond belief. A lot of memes took hits, but none of the memes really revisited these lows after having left them. I can look at a bunch of charts. We can look at Fartcoin. Once it left the bottom, it never revisited it. It just took off. We can look at PopCat, the same thing. You just don't revisit the lows. It hasn't, at least yet. Brett, same thing. You don't revisit the lows. It just goes off. So that's what I'm looking at over here, and I'm using the other coins as a blueprint to get an idea of what may happen. So these meme coins, these three meme coins specifically, are meme coins I'm very interested in, and I've got a bag in each of them. And I think going into July, we're going to see some very bullish momentum come out of these coins. Now, for my non-meme pick, I want to take a look at CRV, and CRV is looking very bullish here. We're managing to pop back up. I do think we are going to get one more swing towards the downside here sometime around the beginning of July. If we manage to break this triangle, then I will change my tune on that. But for now, we just have too much resistance, and I can see us popping back into this liquidity zone. We did wick into it. We didn't really dive deep into it, so we might have some more liquidity to grab before we actually head towards the downside. We have a lot of the moving averages to fight as well, which I really don't like. I want to see us get back above and ride a trend towards the upside, but the value is from buying the fear and the red. Right now, I would be waiting for a dip down here to load more, or I would be waiting for a break of this triangle to actually load up more. And the great thing about this chart is that once we actually do break out of this downtrend, I think we're set up to see the move back to attempt to break $1.3 on curve. And once we break that, we're going to head straight to 2. I think that's going to be a pretty fast shot. And, you know, $6 is the absolute top of curve last cycle, and it was straight down almost from there. So whether we get to see that price is going to be a wild ride. We're looking very good on a lot of coins, and these coins I think are in prime areas to be bid on for higher returns in the coming months. Others as a whole, like I said, looks really nice. Once we break that top, that's where the real fun starts, and we're just waiting for that day to come. You can keep track of it by watching the break of this bull flag and start trending towards the upside. And each month things get more clear and clear. So as time goes on, the charts print more data, and we can work with it to get an idea of when we're going to get there and which route we're going to take. So right now, I like what we're seeing. Just a matter of patience and time before we get the alt season that we've been waiting for. If you manage to survive this long in this market, I can confidently say you guys deserve the rewards that are coming your way. But that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.